Hi, I'm Jill Jones, Senior Attorney and EB-5 Counsel for NES Financial. Escrows in the real world tend to be off-the-shelf solutions. Banks have a stock template that they're used to working with. We hear a lot from regional centers and participants in EB-5 that these off-the-shelf solutions just don't work. There's a lot of frustration involved in satisfying the needs of many different players.
We as regional center owners and operators had spent a lot of time talking to banks, educating them on what EB-5 was. They didn't know, right? Everybody wanted the business because of big deposits, but they didn't know how to get there.
Some of the other banks that do this, they set up an account and that's it. And that doesn't tend to work out real well.
One of the most challenging aspects of an EB-5 escrow is balancing the needs and requirements of so many different parties, starting with the government and USCIS, on down to the securities and immigrations attorneys and the banks and intermediaries, and at the end of the day, taking care of your investors. This only names a few of the variables that complicate these types of escrows. The NES Financial Intelligent Escrow Solution is the best way to make the complex simple. What makes the NES Financial Solution intelligent is that we invested a lot of time and a lot of effort in learning what goes into the EB-5 industry and what the needs of the parties are. We took that expertise and partnered with banks that were willing to sit with us and learn also what the industry needed, and banks that were willing to understand where they needed to bend and be flexible. From that, we were able to come up with a set of best practices and a set of proven escrow terms that work for all parties. The intelligent escrow includes purpose-built technology specific to the EB-5 industry, multiple bank partner options, reporting and statement capabilities, and visibility for your investors to view their own individual accounts. These features and many more are what make the NES Financial Intelligent Escrow so unique in the industry. As it often happens, the escrow is one of the last pieces to be completed before a project goes to market. A lot of work needs to be done in order to find a bank willing to accept the terms that are already in place. Opening an EB-5 escrow account can be a challenge for a number of reasons, whether it be negotiating terms that are compliant with the SEC, USCIS, and securities attorneys, or even just gathering information to satisfy banks' know your customer requirements. This involves gathering formation documents, operational documents, and sometimes drilling down into ownership levels that aren't expected. NES Financial can guide our clients through this process far more quickly and efficiently because we already know what terms the bank is going to accept and what they're going to be looking for in terms of due diligence. We can navigate these waters far better than a client could on their own. One of the biggest challenges banks have with the EB-5 escrows is that the beneficial owners are foreign nationals. There may be a language barrier, and oftentimes there's no direct access for the bank to obtain the information they need to document their files, such as identification. NES is able to work through our regional center clients and even their agents to obtain the information necessary for the bank to open their files and be compliant with their own internal policies. This not only allows NES to assist the banks with their OFAC compliance, but it also allows us to set up accounts in a way that maximizes the FDIC insurance that's available. At the end of the day, what's most important is tracking the funds. It's important to the investors because they need to know where their funds have gone, and they need to know that they can confidently file their I-526 petitions. It's also important to the regional centers because they have a duty not only to report for themselves, but they need to report back to the developers on when funds will be available and to their investors on what is the progress of their project. This information is all available through the NES platform in dashboards that are customized to the different levels of participation. The information is available 24/7, either on your computer or even through your mobile phone. Traditionally, EB-5 escrows would hold funds until the immigration petitions had been approved. However, given USCIS processing times extending beyond a year, the challenge is going to be how to release funds sooner and what to do in the event of a denial. There are a number of different early release structures available in the market today. The challenge is balancing the needs of releasing the money to the project to keep it moving forward and balancing the needs of the investor to know that there would be a refund in the event their I-526 was denied. NES Financial has worked with Securities Counsel, Immigration Counsel, and our bank partners to come up with a handful of different early release scenarios that balance the needs of the developers to keep their projects moving forward and the investors to get the security of knowing that in the event their I-526 were denied, their refund would be available. Escrows are not required. They've become a best practice in the industry. They've even become a marketing differentiator. NES Financial is proud to have participated in over 300 different projects. And our purpose-built technology allows the issuers to give the regional centers and the investors the highest levels of security, transparency, and compliance from investment all the way to capital return.